up, guys? It's Benny. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine because it's always really entertaining to watch Donald Trump talk shit to other world leaders. So no matter what you think about Israel and Iran, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, I guess we all just have to sit back and enjoy the show, right? One of the most famous comedy bits that hit so hard after President Trump left office was Shane Gillis doing this impression.
Post-game NBA, just killed a guy press conference. He walks up in front of the entire world at midnight and just goes, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He died like a dog. And
Listen, this is how much people miss Trump. This is how much people miss Trump.
I changed one word of that. That's what he opened with. And then he did 40 minutes. The speech is 40 minutes for no reason. It wasn't a prepared speech. He freestyled 40 straight. Not even a speech, just mean shit talk for 40. The meanest shit talk you've ever heard in front of the whole world. Abu. We could hear him crying. I said, Abu, don't cry. Let me tell you something. Abu cried. He cried quite a bit. I wouldn't have cried. Crybaby Baghdadi. That's what we were all calling it.
Crybaby Baghdadi. Okay, so we remember Donald Trump actually literally did that in a press conference. You know, Trump has done this to world leaders, and it's a tactic, in fact. President Trump, before Kim Jong-un welcomed him into a nation that America's technically at war with, nobody quite framed that correctly. We never signed a peace treaty with North Korea. We fought North Korea in something called the Korean War. 55,000 Americans died. It's a war probably we should never have fought, but whatever. It's the same as most wars. But anyway, Kim Jong-un welcomes Donald Trump into his nation. They had a really nice relationship. And that happened after Donald Trump talked some mean smack about Kim Jong-un, like this banger. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted, food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is much bigger and more powerful, and my button works. Oh, these were the glory days. 330,000 reposts, 354,000 likes, 100,000 comments. Ladies and gentlemen, these are just pure bangers. And people wanted it back. You know, it's not like Donald Trump pulled any punches when running for president in 2024. He told the story of how he saw the leader of the Taliban's home, handed him a photo of his house, and said, don't F with our soldiers.
Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul.
Well, Abdul, hopefully, will end up figuring it out. Certainly not under Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, who surrendered the entire nation of Afghanistan back to Abdul, even though Donald Trump was sending him photos of his house. I think we're learning what Donald Trump means when he sends you a photo of your house. Here we go. Just posted moments ago, in a very rare President Trump post on X. President Trump has 106 million followers on X. Ladies and gentlemen, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target, but is safe there. We're not going to take him out. Kill. At least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is President Trump. Classic, mean, shit talk about the Ayatollah, the leader of Iran. Now, what's happening right now? There's quite a bit of missile fire going on in this region. Israel is bombing Iran. Iran is bombing Israel. It's ugly. We don't like it. We don't want war. We've been against war, and we certainly, absolutely do not want America to be involved in another contracted, idiotic, forever war. Ladies and gentlemen, but there seems to be rising tensions, obviously, and more civilian casualties. Some of the footage is just wild out of here. I mean, check this out. This is what it looks like when a ballistic missile just hits your neighborhood. Boom. Jeez. Again, nobody wants this. I don't want to see it continue. And so, Since it is what it is, let's get this sucker done. President Trump, again, saying he has the supreme leader in his sights. Now what he wants is unconditional surrender from Iran. President Trump announcing that we have complete and total control over the skies of Iran. Never a good thing tactically. From a military perspective, you're in a bad place if you can't control your own skies in modern warfare, in any warfare, but especially today. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. U.S. military planes head to Mideast to provide operations as Iran crisis heats up. There are now American warplanes and bombers that are sitting in the Indian Ocean right now, within striking distance of Iran at time of recording. Iran's supreme leader, oh no, yikes. Hopefully it's just a tactic, right? President Trump, here's a picture of your house. That's right. It's the throwback, okay? Yeah, throwback. So Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump are on the same page now. Donald Trump and Tulsi were, I think, at some type of odds earlier. President Trump saying, yo, listen, I think Iran is going to get a nuke, and we need to stop him from doing that. I'm not a pacifist. I'm not you wouldn't want strong borders if you were a pacifist. Pacifism is just letting the entire third world and every evil person on earth just rape and pillage your nation. That's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's who they are, right? They're the worst kind of they're like warmongering pacifists. They want to destroy other people's nations and our nation. I want to strengthen our nation, to kick out the criminal aliens, all of them. I want to ensure that our nation is strong because we aren't spending trillions of dollars in forever wars for somebody else, right? However, I guess being a realist says Iran shouldn't have a nuclear weapon. Iran, if you know somebody who was maimed or hurt in Iraq or Afghanistan, it wasn't because of an Iraqi and it wasn't because of an Afghani. It was because of Iran. It was because of bombs made in Iran. It was because of mercenaries from Iran. It was because of Iran. So you don't want them to have nukes. I mean, just period. If they're willing to do that, every roadside bomb, every person that was completely blown up over there, it was because of Iran. It was 10,000 Americans, and it's bad, right? Okay. People here are panicking because Trump might do something. People here are panicking because of one tweet or one statement. It's almost like they're panicking because they have no idea what Trump's going to do next. Oh, wait, that's the point. Imagine how Iran feels right now. Great. That's true. Trump considering strike on Iran ahead of a critical situation room meeting. With his national security team at the White House, U.S. official says Trump is seriously considering joining the war and launching a U.S. strike against Iranian nuclear facilities, especially the underground uranium enrichment facilities in Fordow. Oh boy. We've made it very clear what we believe. And you know what? One of these guys who actually did go and fight in those wars, I am not a veteran, right? As much as I respect it, J.D. Vance is a veteran. He was deployed to one of these godforsaken sandboxes and did risk his life in doing so. He himself was a target, of course, of Iranian-made roadside bombs, and he has a very principled stance of keeping America out of idiotic forever wars. So let's listen to J.D. Vance, as there is a bit of a brouhaha and a split right now amongst the MAGA base as to whether America should be involved in this war and what means, what justifiable war means effectively. Sure looks like Donald Trump's about to drop a bunker buster on Iran's nuclear site. That's what this looks like. Goodness gracious. I don't know, that's a hungry looking bird there. Jeez, American military tech is freaking awesome. Pentagon source said that B-52 bombers are now in the Indian Ocean within flying range of Iran. So there you go. All right, what does it look like, JD? Look, I'm seeing this from the inside, and I'm admittedly biased towards our president and my friend, but there's a lot of crazy stuff on social media, so I want to address something very directly on the Iranian issue. POTUS has been amazingly consistent over 10 years. He says Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. He says it can't have a nuclear weapon. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I think most people agree with that. I haven't found anyone who has a good argument for saying Iran should have a nuclear weapon, right? I don't... That's not really like the contention I haven't seen anybody argue that. Okay, so at least maybe that's something we can all agree on here. Okay, all right, let's continue. I've seen a lot of confusion over the issue of civilian nuclear power and uranium enrichment. These are distinct issues. Iran can have civilian nuclear power without enrichment. Iran rejected that. Meanwhile, they've enriched uranium far above the necessary civil capacity. And this is according to the Atomic Energy Agency, International Atomic Energy Agency. Hardly a right-wing organization. It's one thing to want civilian nuclear energy. It's another thing to demand sophisticated enrichment capacity. And still another thing to cling to enrichment while simultaneously violating basic non-proliferation obligations and enriching right up to the point of weapons-grade uranium. I have yet to see a single good argument as to why Iran needed to enrich uranium well beyond the threshold for civilian use. I'm just telling you what the IAEA, right, or whatever. I'm telling you IAEA. What the International Atomic Energy Agency says is that Iran has enough enriched uranium in order to be a few weeks away from a nuclear bomb. Do you believe that? Is that propaganda? I don't know. Okay, I'm not the expert. I'm telling you what they say, and I'm telling you that I also firmly believe Iran shouldn't have a nuclear weapon. I don't want any more nuclear weapons made, to be quite honest with you, frankly. But I certainly don't want them in the hands of a regime that absolutely murdered, maimed, and slaughtered our boys when they were over there in the Mideast. Right? That absolutely happened. Again, every roadside bomb, every maiming or death of an American troop over in Iraq and Afghanistan, which were stupid wars to begin with, but whatever. Like, those maimings, those killings came from Iran, period. It's a matter of fact. All right. Meanwhile, our president has shown remarkable restraint in keeping our military focused on protecting troops and protecting our citizens, yes. He may decide he needs to take further action and end uranium enrichment. That decision ultimately belongs to the president. And of course, people are right to be worried about foreign entanglement after the last 25 years of idiotic foreign policy. Good. I believe the president has earned some trust on this issue. Having seen him up close and personal, I can assure you that he is only interested in using the American military to accomplish American people's goals. Whatever he does, that is his focus. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, what happens. But since it's not up to me, and frankly, nobody asked me, I wish, but nobody asked, the best we can do is sit back and say, hey, it's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine because I'm laughing my ass off because this stuff's really funny. You know? There you go. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe if you want American strength in the world and peace in the world.